Well, what is happening, Disney fans and movie fans alike? Welcome back to the channel. I am Dial, and this is another edition of the DISNEYCAST. It's a
Woo!
podcast dedicated to everything, you guessed it, Disney. Talking about the movies, the shows. We'll probably have some little park stuff in there. But yeah, joining with me today is my partner in crime. I am the water, she is the fire. We have Cree.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about Elemental, the newest film from Disney and Pixar that came out a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just came on Disney Plus. As of this recording, it came on Disney Plus Thursday. So
And since then, my kids and I have watched it at least 4 times.
4 times, and I only saw it once.
Oh, well, you're unprepared for
I,
this one.
I feel like I am. I didn't get a chance to see this in theaters, unfortunately, because, at the time there was a bunch of other big movies coming out, and it was hard for me to keep up with all the other stuff, because, like, The Flash came out right before then, and, what else? Other stuff. It's just so many movies that came out, so...
See, and I'm the opposite. Since I have little ones, I can't go see other movies like that in the theater. I have to go see kid movies.
Kid movies.
Like I care. I don't.
Of course. At this point, you're just used to it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, Elemental. So with this, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been that excited to see Pixar films as of late. Well, Disney stuff in general, to be honest. But like Pixar is having a really hard time recently. I feel like they still haven't fully recovered from the pandemic. And we remember when Disney Plus was first coming out, they put like majority of the Pixar stuff on Disney Plus, like Soul and Luca and Turning Red. I'm really mad about Turning Red.
Yeah, Turning Red deserved to be in
That
theaters.
should have been in theaters. So I guess it just conditioned people not to go see the Pixar movies in theaters now. And like the quality of Pixar, I've said, has been up and down. It's starting to find its footing a little bit now, but there was some weird stuff coming out.
Yeah.
But when it came to this, I'm gonna be honest. It didn't look bad. When I saw the trailers for this, it didn't look bad. But it was like, it looked pretty by the numbers. It's like a bunch of elements in a city together, and it's like, oh, no, a female fire character and a male water character finding love is the typical Romeo and Juliet story. At least that's what I thought it was going to be.
And it wasn't.
Yeah, it definitely. When we saw how the actual movie was, like, it went into directions I didn't think it was going to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I watched this for the first time on Disney Plus. And after watching it, I regret not seeing this in the theater, because I really enjoyed this. I liked it a lot. It feels like it's just going back to what I loved about Pixar in the first place. I've said for the longest time that, in my opinion, Pixar is one of the best movie studios out there. Not just one of the best animation studios, best studios out there, because they don't make kiddie movies. They make kid-friendly movies. They're able to tell stories that can appeal to adults, but at the same time, it could be something that kids can get out of as well. And I feel like the story that they told in this movie was really, really good. It was very resonant. But yeah, I was taken back by the themes that they put in this film in general. Like, it was very mature. It was very relatable. But yeah, it's a really good movie. What did you think about it, Green?
I'm completely with you. When I saw the trailer, I remember you and I talking about the trailer actually. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I was like, what is it? And in my head, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like we need another Romeo and Juliet romance story type of thing. No.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a ton of faith in it. And then when I saw it with my kids, oh man, I loved it. From the very first 10 minutes of the movie, I was hooked. I think this, I'm agreeing with a lot of what you said. We kind of already talked about the movie before we recorded this, but I agree with you that Pixar does focus on a lot of more adult themes, like, Inside Out, for example.
Yeah.
They focus on mental health, and that's something that the way that they portray, mental health and your emotions is something that kids can understand. In this movie, the biggest things that stuck out to me were immigration and racism.
Yeah.
And it was in a way that even my 5-year-old and 3.5-year-old could understand. Like, my 5-year-old looked at me and said, Mommy, why are they treating her like that? Because in the movie, the other elements kind of push away the fire people because they're very different.
Yeah.
Like, they're not compatible with the other elements. And they're in like a whole separate part of the city. And my 5-year-old was like, why do they live away from the other people? And I said, you're right, honey, that's not right. So they're doing this in such a interesting way that like my 5-year-old can understand that, hey, they're treating them differently. Like, hey, that's not right. You know what I mean? I loved that. I think the romance was super cute.
It was very cute.
It was so awkward. And like, it wasn't like an instant romance. She fought it a lot.
Yeah.
And I know they didn't focus like a ton on it, which I also appreciated.
Yeah.
But like, I thought it was super cute. Can we just talk about the fact that they made the woman the fire element? Come on now.
Are you saying that did you like that, or you thought it was like?
Well, as a redhead, yeah. We have to come with a warning label. So our red hair is our warning label.
Fire redheads. They say that for a reason.
I mean, your goddaughter. My daughter is a redhead, and she acts just like that. So
yeah.
I liked it, but I was just being funny. That like, oh yeah, of course the woman is the fire element. No, it's fine. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Just real quick, sorry. As the granddaughter of immigrants. My grandparents came from the Philippines. My grandpa came from a very poor area, I would say. I think,
Yeah.
And, they have said to me that they came over here to create a better life for themselves and their children. Hold on, I got emotional. Hold on.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
This movie, like, touched on that. And it really hit me hard because I love my grandparents. I really, like, they have helped me with opportunities in my life. And just to see the dynamic between Ember and her parents, like, there is this huge expectation on, like, the kids of immigrants or even the grandkids of immigrants. To do well, to be successful, to do like what they want you to do. And to see Ember like go off and do her own thing, and then her dad eventually accepts that at the end, that was a big thing for me. Yeah. I needed that. And I feel like a lot of kids of immigrants will feel the same way more strongly than I do, because they're like the kids of immigrants. Like that's my grandparents, they're not my parents. It still really resonated with me. That theme of, there's also the immigrant guilt, is what I call it. Like, we came over here to give you a better life, so you need to do what we say. You know what I mean? They touched on that in the movie. I know my dad and my uncles felt that. So,
yeah,
it's a big thing.
Yeah. I'm with you. The first 10, 20 minutes of this, I was instantly hooked. All that you were talking about with the immigration, like that hit me as well. Like instantly, like when they were showing how, as I said, they have their own community they have to make on a separate part of town where everyone else is, and the other elements treating the fire people differently. Yeah,
like there's a line in the movie that I didn't realize that I didn't hear in the theater. I watch movies with subtitles because I can't hear without my subtitles.
Yeah.
But there's one point where Ember and her father are going to see that Vivisteria flower at the museum or something like that. And some other person, like element person in the crowd, yells, "Go back to Fireland." Yeah. That's a big thing. Like that's I mean, it doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal because it's an animated movie. But I mean,
Right.
like, people hear that all the time. Like, go back to whatever country.
Mm-hmm. Going back to, that your kids were able to like instantly pick up why are the elements treating the fire that way, like,
Yeah.
and then I don't know if you were thinking this. I mean, you kind of already talked about it already, but like when that happened, I instantly thought Mexicans, Asians, when they try to
Yeah.
immigrate over here, like this is similar way I see how they're treated as well. So it's like I instantly just made that connection. I'm like, wow, they went there.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And it was a big thing during COVID too. Like my Asian grandparents got yelled at by some can I swear?
Yeah, sure. Like,
Okay.
I know this is a Disney cast, but like these podcasts are people that grew up with Disney,
Yeah.
so it's like if you have kids around, just be wary. There may be some cursing and
Yeah.
like adult language here and there, but we're not going to be excessively doing it. We try our best to.
Right. My grandparents during COVID got yelled at a grocery store by some asshole, some white person
Uh-huh.
who basically said that it was their fault that COVID came to the US, which is stupid because my grandparents have lived here for like 50 years.
Uh-huh.
And it's like the idiocy of some people. Like, and then I remembered that, like, when I heard that line in the movie, I was like, that must suck. Like, so bad. And then little Ember, you see her face looking up at her dad, she's scared to death. That's got to be scary for kids of immigrants.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I'm so glad that this movie touched on that. And like you said, like you brought up again, that my kids picked up on that stuff. My 5-year-old looked at me and said, that's not very nice.
No.
And then she even said, like, but Mommy, Ember was born there. So if my
Yeah.
5-year-old can pick that up, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
They did it in a way that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, man. Like, man, this movie's so smart. Now, just talking about it now, it's just like there's so many smart things about this film.
Very self-aware.
Yeah, and the fact that Ember was born here, and though she's still being treated differently, like, it's nuts. But what I also respect about the fire people in this is, like, while they are being treated differently, they didn't let that stop them from making a life for themselves.
Yeah.
They didn't use that as an excuse. They made the best of their situation, and I thought that's very inspiring.
Yeah.
To get into the characters more, we talked about already. Ember, I really liked Ember a lot. I really liked her dynamic with her parents. Just seeing that montage of her growing up with her parents and like them eventually creating their store and stuff like that. It's like I thought all that was really, really nice. Specifically the dynamic between her and her father, I really, really liked. Even though I just like the little details of like when they're getting older, and it's like you're seeing that the father's getting sick and stuff like that, and you could like even just see that on their face, and like aesthetics and stuff like that. I like the little details there as well. One other thing, which was like a big plot point of the movie, is that she has a temper problem too. So I like that they also, in a way, they kind of tackle dealing with temper and anxiety and stuff like that, and that's something that she had to deal with throughout the movie as well. And in a way, when Wade comes in, he helps to balance that out with her.
Yeah, he teaches her to not let that stuff get to her because it's not true. Like the stuff that people would say to her, about her being a fire person, like Wade was like, why do you let that get to you? It doesn't matter.
Right.
He was like, you know who you are. You don't need to let it get to you. Well, I really liked that.
Yeah, that was really, really nice.
Yeah.
And then, I definitely like the chemistry that we have between Ember and Wade. Once again, I thought it was just going to be typical love of Romeo and Juliet stuff, which probably wouldn't have been bad, but like nothing like really groundbreaking here. But like as we said earlier, like this goes in directions that we didn't think it was going to. Like there is a love story here, but they didn't mainly focus on it. Like there was actually a conflict with I guess like her trying to live up to the expectations of her father, because he wants to pass the store to her and so he can retire. And then the whole thing is that he'll give it to her when she's ready. And like the one thing that's holding her back is her anxiety, is her temper tantrum and stuff like that. So that's something that she had to overcome as well. So, but while that's happening, I guess there was a big like flooding and leaks going on in the shop, and then Wade is an inspector, and like he somehow, it's weird because they're elements, so like the physics work differently in this world, but it's like he somehow got sucked into the pipes, and like Amber accidentally caused like a leaks going on at the shop, and that's like, I guess that's like what's is that like when Wade's expecting the shop, he's saying that the shop
Isn't up to code.
isn't up to code. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I don't know why that couldn't come out, but yeah. So the thing wasn't up to code, and so he's about to report that, and then she's chasing him all throughout town, and then she's too late, and then they're about to report it, and so the whole thing is they're trying to figure out a way to stop the leaking and figure out where the leaking's coming from so they can save the shop. So
Right,
that's the main thing.
because the water's not even supposed to be in Firetown anyway.
Right.
And that's another thing. You look at Firetown and you think of like, I don't know how to word this.
I don't.
Immigrants living in like, a little bit of a slummier part of town.
Right.
Like the city government doesn't care about that part of town.
Right.
They don't care.
Yeah.
And if you look, like Element City is so shiny and like clean, and then you look at Firetown and it's like a bunch of old buildings.
Yeah.
So like that's just one thing that I thought about when I watched it for the third time. The third time is when I noticed a lot of details.
Right,
But the water's not even supposed to be there, so I can understand Ember's frustration. Like, it's your fault that the water's here, but you're blaming us. Like,
Right.
it's stupid, but that's how city government is.
Unfortunately.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely did some commentary on like how how we deal with BS like that, But and then while they're trying to figure out where the flooding is coming from, she ends up finding a new gift, a new talent that she's able to melt sand and turn it into like glass.
Well, yeah, she always knew she could do that.
She just never thought like she could do something with
Yeah.
which in turn, like, which also sets the thing of like she's unsure if she wants to take over the shop after her father.
Well, and that's another thing about immigrant guilt. Is her father came over there with nothing, and built that shop for their family, and he's just expecting her to take over the shop because that's his life's work. It's the immigrant guilt. But that's not what she wants to do.
No. My only nitpick with that it's a little nitpick, is that I wish we saw a little bit more of her like not caring as much to be, owner of the store, because it seemed like she was fully in it. The only thing she had to deal with was her anxiety and stuff like that. So it's like I wish we saw more of like she's not fully in it, like we see that coming out of her emotion or whatever. Like, I don't know about this.
The only reason why I'm going to counter that is because I think she didn't even realize it herself until she saw how Wade's family reacted to her remaking the vase and everything. And his mom like said that she found her an internship at this glass making company, and Wade's family was so supportive and said, this is a talent, you could turn this into a real career. But Ember's whole life she was told what career she was going to be into, and she was okay with that because that's just their culture, that's just like how it is for them. But then Wade comes along and his family is super supportive and like freaking out over her talent, and Wade's super supportive, and she's like, what do I do? So
okay, I see that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think that's why they didn't do more with it. Like, we didn't see her questioning that more because she wasn't until that.
Yeah, she never had a situation where she would question until that happened. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then the whole thing of like the fire versus water conflict too. But I also like that it wasn't just like a one-sided thing of like, oh, people don't like the fire. Like you even see like, Ember's dad being prejudiced towards water people and stuff like that. So because that does happen. Like, yes, well,
Hmm.
we do treat immigrants unfairly. Like there are times where immigrants like make judgments on other races as well. Like both sides, I don't think it's good. But it's like I like that they did a slight commentary on that as well. Um, but like the whole thing with the fire and the water, like I was wondering how they were gonna do that, because like Wade is water and like Amber's fire. Could they even touch each other? It's like we even see throughout the movie, like even when Wade is near fire, he starts bubbling and like dissolving and stuff like that. Like how are they gonna make it work? It took me off guard how they did it. I mean, it's Disney magic, so it's like it's fine. But like
I loved it.
I did too when they actually tried to touch hands and stuff like that, like they were able to touch fine. I guess like the power of love and
Loved it.
compatibility. They do have that whole thing where Amber's mom is like a what is she, like a matchmaker or like
Yeah,
or like
matchmaker.
yeah. And then it's so that was kind of telegraphed a little bit, but I liked how they did it. Like when Amber's mom took her and Wade and see if like they were matchmakers to prove like, see, you're fire and water, it can't work. And so
And then Wade made it work.
yeah, it's like they had to make these two candles like light up, and of course Amber can do it because she's fire. But then we're like, okay, how is Wade gonna do it? Because like he can't do anything with fire. But then, oh my god, it's so clever. Like he took the light from Ember's flames and like projected it through his stomach, and then like they concentrated the light into this ray, and then pointed it at the candle. That was so smart. That was so
super
clever.
cool.
I really, really like that. I was rooting for these two, man. By the time we got to the end, I'm like, I wanted it to work. As I said, it was just so cute. It was clever how they were able to get these two together. That they're such polar opposites, like, and they complement each other so well.
I will say it was pretty cliche though when like they had the conversation about her not really wanting to take over the shop, but Ember was saying, "Oh, I have to," and then they had an argument, and then she left him. That was pretty cliche, and went back to her parents, and then Wade showed up, professed his love.
Yeah, I think that also goes to show like how polar opposite Wade and Ember is, because like you see Wade is like so emotional and like wears his heart on his sleeve and like is
Yeah.
open with everyone, and then Ember is the exact opposite of that. Like she's guarding her emotions, like she's worried about being close to anyone. So I think that really helped to like enforce the fact that these two need each other, since they are like so opposite, and they help balance out each other. So it was cliche. I'll admit that, but like I think it was done on purpose, maybe.
I could see that, yeah. I was just like, oh, here we go. She's gonna leave him. But then again, I'm the type of person that can predict anything in movies.
Yeah,
It's really annoying.
yeah. Like if you guys are have followed the channel for a while, when she's there, she somehow predicts what's going to happen in movies before it even happens. She does that a lot. I think it's because she reads a lot of books in like a very fast period of time. So
Well, when you read a lot, just real quick, I know this is off topic, but
yeah.
when you read a lot, like your brain is wired to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a very literary brain. So there are just these like cues and little things that you can pick up on that can predict the ending. Kind of give away the ending.
I'll admit, even me, like I saw that coming too. They're probably gonna
Yeah.
do that, like, oh, no, I'm gonna run away, and no, we can't do this, but like we.
And then the dam broke, and
The
then
dam broke.
Firetown was in danger, and I knew something
Yeah.
was gonna happen to either Wade or Ember.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I was thinking it was gonna be Ember, because then Ember's dad would have been like really upset
yeah.
and thinking that he should have just let her follow her dream, blah blah blah. But that would have been even more cliche. So I'm kind of glad it was Wade.
Yeah.
And the way that they brought him back was hilarious.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because there was a thing earlier when Ember's meeting Wade's family, and like they're playing a game of try not to cry, and Wade was saying a whole bunch of random like sad things, like half a butterfly and
Windshield wipers.
windshield wipers, and I'm like,
An old man on his deathbed remembers the summer he fell in love.
Oh, that she was out of his league. I'm like, wow. Okay.
So he let her go, thinking that summer would come again, but it never did.
I'm like,
Why did
oh,
I memorize that?
you watched it 3 times,
4,
4 times,
5.
5.
Once in theaters, and then the kids had wanted to watch it like 4 times.
Oh yeah, so I'm sure you would remember that. I
Yeah.
only watched it once, so it's like I didn't remember exactly what they said, but yeah. So they use that to bring him back because he cries over everything.
Yeah.
So it's like he just evaporated back, precipitated back into a bucket, and then I don't know.
The word.
The
words.
I just started remembering stuff from science class. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation. That's how it
There
works.
you go.
Okay. But yeah,
Or you can say he just dripped out of the ceiling.
I could.
You could, but you wanted to sound smart.
I wanted to sound smart. Yep. Fail. Anyway. But talk more about just the look of the film.
It's gorgeous.
It's a beautiful movie. The animation is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I always question, why do they keep spending the $200 million on these animated films? And I see why. Like it all goes to how the movie looks,
Yeah. Now, if we want to question Disney's money spending, we should talk about those live action movies, but that's a whole nother video that I wanted to talk to you about making.
Yeah, we can definitely make a video about that because I have a lot of thoughts on that. I'm sure
So
you do
many
as well. Yeah.
You and I talk about it all the time.
I guess it's like, it's money well spent, I think. Even though this movie, I think it did underperform, unfortunately.
I think it was all down to their marketing.
Yeah.
They didn't market this movie.
No. And it's like, I only remember 2 trailers, and like the 2 trailers I saw, they were like, they were meh. But you would think, like, even if the marketing's not that great, like, people will go see it because it's Pixar. But it's like, as we said earlier, it's just like with them releasing some of them on Disney Plus, and the quality hasn't been hitting as hard. Maybe that's why it underperformed.
Well, and I think it has to do with the fact that like they're just going to be on Disney Plus anyway.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just wait, especially if you have young kids. Like my kids, will they realize that they're not going to see it in the theater? No, they're 3 and 5.
Right.
We still take them to the theater because that's our family tradition. But I mean, there are a lot of parents that feel that way. Like, why take my kid to the theater when it's going to be on Disney Plus in a couple months anyway? Right.
Like, Lily, I hear that a lot, not only with Disney movies, but other movies in general that just eventually will be on the streaming service 2 to 3 months later. They're like
when we didn't see Mission Impossible in the theaters. And, I mean,
yeah, and
waiting for it to be on streaming.
Yeah, and Evan and I are big Mission Impossible fans, but he still wasn't able to see it in theaters. And then we didn't see Haunted Mansion.
That's okay. I didn't want to spend even a penny of my money on that movie.
Yeah, like, why was that movie released in July? It made no sense.
Yeah, that's a whole nother video.
That's a whole other thing. We'll talk about Haunted Mansion when it's on Disney Plus, but it's like, yeah, that's all.
Do I have to?
It's Disney, and
God.
we gotta do something. We gotta do stuff for Halloween,
Okay, Hocus Pocus. That's all we need to do.
I mean, we could do.
And Nightmare Before Christmas.
I already did Nightmare Before Christmas. Sorry.
Boo.
I might think about doing a re-review of it, maybe.
You better do a re-review.
We'll see. Anyway, let's get back on topic. The animation, as I said, is gorgeous. It reminded me. It's a mixture of. It feels like a mixture of Inside Out and Zootopia a little bit.
Yeah, the world building was phenomenal.
It was very nice.
Beautiful.
Really, really nice. I like the different districts of the different elements.
Yeah.
Like, I like how everything like worked and stuff like that. It was very creative.
And the characteristics of each element, that was spectacular.
It was so good. So good. What was that cloud? Gail. I like Gail. She was funny. And then what was that really stoic guy that
Fern.
Fern, yeah. I wish there was more of him.
He was funny. Yeah.
But yeah, I like
they're gonna make a short of him, right?
Oh, they are?
No, I mean I'm
Oh, you think they're gonna make a short of him?
Yeah, because a lot of people thought he was funny.
Hey, I'll watch it. I'll watch it for sure. And then the music. I like the music as well. The
music was very good.
Yeah, the score was really nice. I wouldn't.
Especially the ethnic music.
Oh, the ethnic music. Yeah, it fit really, really well. And then there was like a main song of the movie, "Steal the Show" by Lauv.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a really nice song.
It was a good
Really,
song.
really
Yeah.
nice song. I think it should be nominated for an Oscar. I probably won't, but like
Yeah, I doubt it.
it's really
Unfortunately, but
it's really nice though. It's really, really nice though. But yeah, oh, what I forgot to say earlier is that like, while I do think it's money well spent on a really good movie, it's like you can't help but think like there's other like great animated films that cost less and it looks just as good, like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse that cost $100 million to make. So it's like I feel like with Disney with animated films, well, more like the live action movies like we talked about, but like I really think they need to watch their spending because like you know, Disney is not making billions of dollars
yep,
anymore. So,
they need to watch it in general.
in general, yeah. My only concern is if they do decide to cut budgets of stuff, like will we still get the same quality of like, animated stuff if they have to cut the budget down? I think it's possible, but like would it be the same? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I mean, like another dumb thing about their spending is they're spending a lot of money in the parks too right now.
They are. It's ridiculous.
Like reworking Splash Mountain into a Princess and the Frog ride,
Yeah.
which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
I think that that's super cool.
Yeah.
And then building new parks.
Mm-hmm.
Parts of parks.
Yeah, I'm sure they
Around
want to
the world.
expand Yeah, they want to expand the Star Wars stuff and Avatar stuff and other parks,
Well,
other countries, whatever.
yeah, in Disney Hong Kong, they just built Frozen World.
Oh.
Like the whole like Arendelle world thing.
Mm-hmm. And like I think they just made like a Guardians of the Galaxy thing. And,
Yeah, they just built another cruise ship.
yeah, and then they still want to do stuff with Tron, which surprises me. But yeah.
Do kids today know what Tron is?
Probably not, and I'm sure not a lot of people saw Tron Legacy, even though that's a more recent one. But Evan's not gonna like that because he really likes Tron Legacy. But
Well, nobody said that Evan had good taste.
ooh,
I'm his wife. I'm allowed to say that.
Fair.
You're his best friend. You're
yeah,
allowed
yeah,
to say that.
no, yeah, he
No,
did.
our kids call him out all the time too. They're like, "Daddy, you suck," or like, "Daddy, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong, and Mommy's right."
Yeah, a lot of the time that's the case. But yeah, it's just gonna be interesting to see how they treat the
Daddy, you suck.
you suck. Like, that's the quote of the day. Daddy, you suck. But yeah, it's just we'll just see how it goes with the animation stuff going forward, is how they do their spending, whatever.
Yeah.
Like Wish coming out later on this year. It looks pretty interesting, right?
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
And then that weird Pixar movie coming out next year,
Elio.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know what that's about.
I don't know either. This is like, I know it's just a teaser, but I'm just like, I don't know what I watched. It's just looks like a bunch of things. We'll see how it goes. But
Yeah.
all right, let's wrap this baby up. Overall, I thought this was a great movie. Just when I thought I was like, I mean, I didn't completely lose hope on Pixar, but it's like I've come to the point where it's like I'm not expecting hit after hit after hit, unfortunately, because of the quality we've gotten with a couple of them. But like this is reminding me how great Pixar can be, and it's a shame that this movie is not getting as much attention as it should. It's getting back to that great storytelling that we liked from prime Pixar. That's able to tell a story that kids can understand and what adults can take from it as well. That's where I say like Pixar doesn't just make kiddie movies. They make family films. But yeah, Amber, Wade, I thought they were great characters. I love the world of the elements. I thought it was very well realized. The attention to detail and everything is great. I love the themes about immigration and racism, anxiety, interracial relationships in a way. So they tackled all those
Oh
things.
yeah, that is a big theme.
Yeah, that's a big thing about interracial relationships. Like it's controversial still, depending on who they are. But like, yeah, I'm glad they tackled that as well. But yeah, everything just works so well. The animation's beautiful. The score is great. So you know what? I'm actually gonna give Elemental an A. Give it a solid A. I don't really have any major issues with this movie. It's very well done.
Yay. I I don't really have anything. I think you touched on everything that I really liked about the movie too. I mean, like I don't really feel the need to reiterate. I loved this movie. You know, oh, and I forgot to say the bow that she does at the very end to her father.
Yeah.
Every single time I watch that, I cry. It's a very emotional thing. This movie is quite emotional, and I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
And because of that, and because of how well they handle all the themes, and the animation is just gorgeous. The world building is phenomenal. I'm actually gonna give it an A+.
A+. All right.
Which I haven't given a Disney movie an A+ in a long, or Pixar movie an A+ in a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. I don't even know when the last A+ was that I gave.
Like even Turning Red, you wouldn't give it A+?
I give it an A-.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I would give it. We'll talk about it at a later date.
Yeah. But yeah, I give this movie an A+, and I did not expect that. Going in to see this movie, I did not expect that I was going to give it that high of a rating.
Yeah. Perfect score.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is our overall thoughts on Elemental. Tell us, what did you guys think about it if you saw it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? How does this compare? How does this compare to the other Pixar films? Comment your thoughts down below and let us know. So, yeah, I think the next thing we'll talk about is Haunted Mansion.
No.
Come on.
I didn't agree to this.
Come on, you agreed to this when you decided to talk about Disney films with us. We're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the in between.
I'm sick.
That's okay. We'll wait for you to get ready, and then when you get better, we talk about Haunted Mansion because that's gonna come on Disney Plus October 8th. So
Too soon.
yeah, tune in. Well, that's when it's supposed to should have came out is October, but tune in for that when it comes out. We still need to talk about we still haven't talked about the Little Mermaid stuff, and Peter Pan, because Peter Pan and Wendy came out.
Oh gosh.
Maybe some Pinocchio in there as well. So other Disney stuff coming down the pipeline.
I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, tune in for all that lovely goodness. But if you guys enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell if you want to be notified on future videos we'll be doing. But that's all we have for you Disney fans, and we will see you guys next time. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.
See you later.